We are lucky enough to spend 22 minutes today with Wesley Snipes, sponsored by Hint. So wonderful to have you here.
Woo! Woo! Holla!
Now, ordinarily, I would just say actor Wesley Snipes, but that's not the case anymore. You are now author Wesley Snipes. And not only that, a fiction author.
Yeah, go figure that. It's not a tell-all, and it's not The Shawshank Redemption, is it? Yeah,
It is Talent of God, and your debut novel. Did you always have it in you to write a novel? Always something that you wanted to do?
I don't know if I had always thought about writing a novel. Writing plays, writing scenes, writing poetry, writing prose goes back to my college days. So the opportunity, when it came along, I had to think about it a second.
Yeah.
You know, if I was prepared for it, if I could deal with the pro and con reaction, and if I was disciplined enough.
It is discipline.
Oh, I got so
Writing
much respect.
is work, right? It's work and it's rewrites. And in your case, it was a collaboration as well.
Yes, it's a collaboration with Ray Norman, and I'm so blessed to have had him as a part of it. And we both were called by the great master to take this challenge, to walk this path,
Right.
and create Talent of God.
Right. Now, give us the basic premise. A young doctor, tell me if I have this right, teams up with a spiritual warrior, essentially to
holy warrior.
save humanity. Yeah,
Yes,
tell us a little bit about the story.
A holy warrior who is, you can imagine him being like the Vatican Guard.
Okay.
He's not an angel, but he's endowed with certain powers that were gifted to him by the Creator.
So
by
not
God.
completely secular.
Not completely secular. No.
Okay.
No. He's definitely a man of spirit, and he uses his words as power, like a heka or a mantra, the words from the Bible. He uses to stave and control the various demons who are lurking around us every day, unbeknownst to us, within that invisible realm. And there is a ongoing battle between good and evil. And our protagonist, Miss Lauren,
Yes.
she doesn't know that she's the heir apparent to carrying the holy sword to fight on behalf of the kingdom against these demons.
She's a doctor.
She
right?
is a doctor. Yeah. Doctor from the hood. She's a preacher's girl. She's a preacher daughter
From Chicago, right?
from Chicago.
Yeah. Why'd you set it there? You're from the Bronx, right? Originally.
Well, you know, New York gets beat up with all of the demons, and LA gets beat up with the demons, so we had to throw a little love to Chicago this
Do
time.
something else, a fresh venue. I like that.
Also, my co-writer, Ray Norman, he has some roots there in Chicago, and a lot of our company members have roots in Chicago. So it seemed like a very appropriate place.
Right.
There's a whole lot of stuff going on in Chicago right now, too.
sure
Where
is.
you wonder if some of these demons are not influencing some of this behavior, this aberration of, love and mercy and trust and humanity, simplest of things.
Right, true. I didn't even think of that. It's very, very relevant. Sadly, we have a lot of news stories about Chicago.
Maybe it's the demons.
Maybe.
We need some talents out here to go handle that. Put in that work, as they say.
Where did you get the idea for Talent of God?
It kind of came from the Creator. It's kind of a convergence of events. Ray was working on a piece, and he had an idea about doing a spiritual warrior piece. I was working on a script about a spiritual warrior searching for his destiny. And the question is, are our lives predetermined? And is it fate? Or can we influence? Do we have free will to change that? And when we talked, after being introduced by a very good friend of ours, when we talked, we realized that there was a resonance and a harmony. So we said, hey, let's do this together.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet, did you write it with the idea of turning it into a script and turning it into a movie someday? Was that the intention, or was it just like, no, I'm going to write a novel?
Oh no, making a movie out of this never crossed my mind at all, Bridget. How could you even think of such a thing? No, it was always that way. Like I said, I was already on the path of writing a script, and I thought it would be kind of fun, and even for me, more entertaining to take the world of cinema and imbue that into the script. I mean, into the book. See, it's still in my head, right? Into the book, so it would be easier to read, more engaging, more
Right.
familiar. You know, the language, the patterns, the rhythms of speaking are very colloquial and familiar to us.
Right.
And I thought that would be more digestible than just hitting people over the head with, spiritual lessons.
Right, right. So at this stage, have you taken this already and converted it into a screenplay format yet, or is that to come?
No, we're gonna wait. I mean, we're in no rush.
Okay.
Because we have 2 more of these books to do. This is one of a trilogy.
Oh, that's right.
That we
Yeah.
created, and the very first version of the story was about 700 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
So when we presented it to the book agents, it was like, I don't know about this. So chopped it up and then condensed some things here
Right.
to make it interesting as a premiere,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll go into book 2 and book 3. But we'll
Okay.
see where the movie fits in there. It'll get in there somewhere.
Will you star?
Will I start by the grace of God? Yes, yes, I hope so.
Okay, all right, good.
Unless there's some other actor that comes along and knocks me off of the game.
One of the write-ups about the book said it's for if you like The Devil's Advocate, you would like this, and you were also quoted as saying there are little bits of Blade thrown in there. Yes,
I think that'd be fun for the readers to figure out and discover all of the Blade references. The Blade, there's a number of things about it kind of happens that way.
Right.
We're dealing with the supernatural, and we're dealing with
Sure.
the spiritual world and
demons.
demons and
Yeah.
actions. So
Right.
there's little pieces of Blade in there. A lot of little things. Very interesting. And the funny part about it is that some of that emerged and subconsciously.
I'm sure it did.
We didn't
Right.
know that we were
Right.
going to, there would be similarities or direct correlations between
Right. Right.
this book and Blade.
And your readers, I bet, will read things and say, "Oh, Wesley, that was genius that you put that in," and you'll say, "Oh, did I mean to do that?"
I'm gonna give all the credit to Ray.
Okay. Ray, it was all you. Let's talk a little bit about Blade. There
Oh,
have been,
Lord.
you Google Wesley Snipes, and a lot of Blade stories come up. A
Yeah.
lot of talk still
It's
about a
amazing.
reboot, maybe another
Absolutely
movie, maybe a
amazing.
Netflix series. Where are you on that right now? What do you know?
So the big boys and we've had conversations over the
big
last.
boys being?
Feig and all of the ones
Marvel,
who.
the
yes,
Marvel studio
Marvel,
head.
yes.
Okay.
We've had discussions about a new iteration and what that could possibly look like. It's not on the schedule at the moment.
Okay.
They're going to finish doing what they're doing with the current characters in the Marvel Universe. I don't know exactly where Blade fits into that because Blade was a little hardcore. He was a little more R than some of the current PG-13 characters.
Right.
But, you never know. And in the meantime, while they're trying to figure it out, we got some other stuff that if they don't get their act together, you might not see a Blade 4 because they're just going to be pushed to the side.
You're going to be too busy.
Oh, we got something. We got 2 projects besides Talent of God. We got 2 projects that are going to blow people away.
But how recent were the discussions? Because the articles I've seen kind of since like the springtime, there's been talk. And then there was also an article about the Spider-Man Homecoming director, John Watts, saying, "Oh, well,
heard about
these
that.
characters intersected and maybe we could." Has he talked to you?
He hasn't. But I don't live the Blade life every day, so I don't follow it
I'm sure.
like that.
Right.
I appreciate the fact that people are still connected to it and still hungering for some kind of resolution.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. But in the meantime, I keep getting younger, so like I say, they better catch up, because I'm not waiting.
So some of the young guys they've been talking about as being the potential new stars, they're too old, like Michael B. Jordan
tell
or
you
somebody
something.
too old.
Do you know how many people they've talked about trying to play that role?
A lot.
Oh, my God.
Well, what do you think when you hear that? How does that make you feel?
I'm honored. It's fascinating, wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's an actor out there who could pull it off better than yours truly, so be it. Let's go. I mean,
Is there anybody that you like that you say, yeah, I kind of see
To play
him?
Blade?
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes, I think he would do a great job at it.
Let's say Wesley was busy out promoting the book and he couldn't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The fans are not going to be happy with that. They're not going to take that and settle for that.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, actually, I came across a lengthy article about you being very indelible in that role. Sort of like some people would say, like somebody other than Harrison Ford being Indiana Jones. Like, no, it's like the same kind of thing that you are Blade.
Yeah,
so it's not
yeah.
going to
It
work.
wasn't like that at the time. You know, when we got down to doing Blade 3, which is a whole nother story. One of these days, I'll tell that story.
Another 22 minutes.
My side of that story. They actually told us that, look, you know, my agent called me and said, Wes, you don't want to do Blade 3? I was like, no. They said, well, look, if you don't agree to do it, they said that they're moving on. I said, okay, let them move on. I was okay with it because for me, it's about the challenge, the artistic challenge, to see what I can accomplish as an artist, to see where the boundaries are of my artistry. So to do Blade 1, great. I did what we wanted to do, to create a black vampire that kung fu. For all of my friends that used to go right over here to 42nd Street and watch, you know, the kung fu movies.
Yeah.
That was the motivation.
The old ones.
Blade 2 was a little icing on the cake. Great. Got a chance to work with Guillermo del Toro. But I didn't want to be identified as Blade. You know, I like the variety. I like, you know, the range of To Wong Fu to Blade to U.S. Marshals to Disappearing Acts to these kind of, that kind of variety of work. And I figured if I kept doing the Blade character, I'd be pigeonholed as that guy.
Right.
So, yeah.
But you weren't. I mean, as you say, you've had so many, like 70 movies.
It's actually 100, but
Is it?
yeah, it's
Okay.
over 100, and there are a lot.
Didn't mean to jip you out of those 30.
Shy. I don't take it passionate. And many of them have been shot overseas. So I was one of the first actors to start doing film overseas before it became economically viable. Yeah. You know, now most of the films they make the greatest box office in the overseas market.
Right.
And they kind of promote or kind of trigger domestic filmmaking. So literally, in the business now, to get an independent film made, they'll usually ask you who's attached, and that person has to have some kind of foreign value.
Right.
If they don't have the foreign value, it's highly unlikely that you'll get the film made because that's where the bulk of the
Interesting.
money, 75% of the revenue is being generated internationally.
Right.
So I was doing that in the mid-2000s.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Now look how things come around.
They sure do. Yeah, on Mondays now, we don't just do the domestic box office. We always, give the worldwide figures now. Talking a little bit more about the diversity of roles that you've played. Of course, one of the other big favorites is your teaming with Woody Harrelson for White Men Can't Jump.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys buddies? Was that chemistry real?
We're still buddies.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Woody. My birthday's on the 31st. His is, I think, is August 3rd or 8th, something like that, in the same, about a week apart. We're still good friends, and we had such a blast doing that film. Both of them, actually. And we shot Money Train here in New York.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we
Okay.
shot it here in New York. So, yeah, we've had a lot of... You have to read that book later on.
That's going to be, that could be another trilogy, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys know each other before you
HBO.
worked on the first one?
Yes, because Woody and I met on both of our first film, which was called Wildcats.
The Goldie Hawn.
It was a Goldie Hawn movie.
Yeah.
And we didn't like Woody at that time because Goldie took a liking to Woody, and then Woody, really, he had one line in the whole script. By the time we got finished the movie, Woody had scenes with Goldie. He had two-person scenes.
How did that happen?
Everybody was asking the same thing. Everybody asking the same thing. You know, we were mad at him. Woo!
But obviously it helped launch your career and a lot of other movies.
Yeah.
Favorite movie role, favorite director?
Haven't done it yet. The favorite movie role and the favorite director. So many of them I would like to work with, but I mean, Ron Shelton, we had such a blast with that artist.
For Major League.
For Major League.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, of course, from The Blade 2.
Can you still do those slides and the bases?
I would
like you
never.
did?
I have a post-traumatic stress syndrome with those slides. I took so much black off of my butt over here. Oh my gosh.
I love that movie.
It
That's a
ripped
great
me
one.
up all on each side of my butt cheeks.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
The last take
no
in Major
stunt
League.
double for those?
Nah, no stunt double.
Oh man.
I wasn't that smart then. The last take in the movie where it's the winning slide,
Yeah.
I must have did that about 20 times.
Oh my gosh.
And literally, I was ripped up. You can see the white meat on the side of my hips, on both sides from where I've been
man.
sliding on.
Oh man.
The price of theater.
Now,
The price of acting.
did you start in the famous Fame High School?
I went to
Fiorella
Fame.
LaGuardia?
Yes, I was accepted there in the acting department. And around that time, I was doing off-Broadway, like with Joseph Papp and some of the other organizations around the city. And yeah, I got into High School of Performing Arts, and that really kicked it off.
Did you dance there as
I
well?
wanted to go in as a dancer.
I did.
You had two choices. You could go in either in the dance department,
Right.
or you could go into the acting department, the drama department. Dancers couldn't act. Drama, you could act and dance.
Right.
So it made more sense.
Right.
So I went to the drama
Right.
side.
And you know, to watch some of your movies, I mean, again, Blade in particular, some of the moves are sort of balletic.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Did that dance background, did that influence your acting in
Oh,
a lot of your
definitely.
roles?
Definitely.
You've choreographed as well, too, right?
Right, that's right. A lot of the action sequences in the film I choreographed with my team, the stunt team. But I've always been more of a physical actor, and I like the films. And I was raised during the time when films were shot in wides and in masters, so you could see the actors from head to toe. And for us, it was impressed upon us that your performance is not just your mouth, it's not just your eyes, it's your toes, it's your fingers, it's
Right.
the whole life of the character. So I see myself as a physical actor, and I gravitate towards being physical when I perform.
You have a new movie coming up, too, right? Armed Response.
Armed Response. Yeah, that's a Gene Simmons produced WWE in partnership with our company Mondi Media.
Gene Simmons as in Gene Simmons?
Gene Simmons as in Kiss.
Wow.
Yes, he has a new film shingle, and he's in partnership with the WWE in a separate deal. And we, as Mondi House Studios, we have a separate deal with the WWE. So this is his flagship project, Armed Response, and it's got Anne Heck and Danny Annabelle and a couple of other great.
One of the
performers.
WWE guys, too, right?
Seth,
Yeah.
Seth is in the film as well.
Oh,
A
interesting.
nice, interesting ensemble piece. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know how it is. You know, if it's good, thank me. If it's bad, don't thank me. It's not my fault.
Will there be an Expendables 4 or 5 or 6? And will Wesley Snipes be in it with his old pal Sylvester Stallone, right? Who wanted you for that very much.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I had a conversation with the executive producer about 2 months ago, and they are writing a script. They imagine that most of us will come back.
Okay.
There's a little question if Sly is going to participate,
Okay.
which is a little weird
Can there
for me.
be one without him?
That's what I said. But the executive producer said, no problem.
Really?
So, it's a strange business.
I guess
very,
it
very
is.
strange
I
business.
guess
But you
it
know,
is.
we'll see. It was always fun. What an experience to
What was
be
that like?
around. Oh man,
Did everybody check their egos at the door when they came to do that and
Absolutely.
just had a good time?
absolutely.
Was there any really
Absolutely.
crazy scene, when the cameras weren't rolling?
Well, to watch Sly and Arnold go at it I mean, I've been watching them do this since maybe the Planet Hollywood days when we were all a part of that, and they rip each other apart. I mean,
Literally.
they go at each other. It's by now they laugh at it, you know, and they try to one up each other on some kind of an insult. You know, whether they're talking about each other's accent, they're talking about the flabby muscles that they used to have. You know, Sly is in great shape. Arnold, you know, he's not in the shape he used to be. He's not Mr. Olympia, right? And
Who
they go
wins
at-
when they fight, Offset?
We do. We do the rest of the cast. Because it is so funny. Yeah.
Speaking of matches, MMA, the big match coming up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
Floyd
McGregor
Mayweather
and
versus
Floyd
Conor
Mayweather,
McGregor.
huh?
Yeah, a lot of talk in there, boy. Who do you like?
I've been in both of those worlds. I've been on the boxing world. I've done a couple of boxing movies and got a chance to train with one of the greats, Hall of Famer Emmanuel Stewart and Emil Griffith. And I've been in the martial arts since I was 12. So I have some sensibility of what the challenges are and what both of them will face. Who's going to win? I'm leaning Floyd. In the boxing ring, I'm going with Floyd on this one.
Okay.
McGregor, he's a phenomenal artist. Phenomenal artist. And I think he uses some things that we study in the martial arts that most people are unaware of, that come from the exotic martial arts world. I can recognize it, although some of us can recognize it. I don't think Floyd will be prepared for that, and most boxers aren't. However, Floyd Mayweather has been fighting since he came out of his mama's womb. This cat knows everything about that ring.
Yeah.
I got to go with that.
Okay.
I'm going with the womb. Put my money on the womb.
And we're going to go with the Talon here. Wesley Snipes, your debut novel. I'm so impressed. It's a lot to write a book. Talon of God.
Thriller,
Go buy it.
suspense, spirituality, action-packed, romance in the second version. We'll get to that
Okay.
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we
All
get
right.
to the love stuff
All right.
in a minute.
So read the book before the movie comes out starring Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.